everyone to Wednesday night is overbooked, your midweek wrestling stream for all us idiots who like to talk about professional wrestling. So, welcome everyone in the chat. We got a few people already here, showing up, showing out for the wrenches. Monitor the chat there. We got Mr. Jacob Ironside. Hello, sir. Actually, again, if you did not know, our logo is done by Mr. Jacob Ironside. You should definitely check him out, especially if you are a fan of classic films. But we're here to talk wrestling tonight. To my stage right is the man, the myth, the horribly bad takes. It is LeftEyeEgo. How are you, sir?
Doing great, man. I'm ready to talk some wrestling as we get closer to Elimination Chamber, man. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
All righty. And right down here in the corner, the man who secretly has a Michael Jordan North Carolina Tar Heel shrine in his house. It is Duke Devil 95, Bradley Burnett. How are you, sir?
I would never do that, but if there was original merch, I would totally put it on eBay.
If there were,
that's right, I folks. He actually has a Christian Leitner shrine in his house.
Oh Lord!
No, just an autograph picture of me and Coach K.
Okay,
that's.
And right below we have Hexagon the fourth. Cero
Mierda. Bullshit. Mierda is bullshit.
Okay.
No
bullshit.
Right.
I like it.
Cero Mierda.
It is the Unbearable 73. Matt, how are you, sir?
Feeling. I mean, as my distance grows from the flu, I feel better and better.
Good.
So I'm waiting for a tidal wave or a lightning bolt or oh my god, my shoulder's gonna explode. Something's gonna happen. I don't know, but it's the way it is. But I'm feeling good. So
Matt, you're gonna have to change shapes every week now.
Yeah.
And I was a little upset. You were talking about a tidal wave or something. I was expecting to hear a tsunami, but
yeah.
We won't hear a tsunami for another few months.
We also have
you may hear about something related to a tsunami in my list.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh,
so we've also got someone else came into the chat today, and that is also another wrench. Love it ever after. We love it here. She is wonderful. Now, before we move on into news of the day, in the classic saga of As the EO Turns, which just gives my theory even more credit here, we got this from Monday night. A certain genius of the sky decided to take to social media here and with a lovely vignette.
A year ago, I was champion on top of the world, heading onto the biggest stage of them all. Now, my path to Wrestlemania isn't so clear. There was a good chance I wouldn't have my moment this year. But this match with Rhea is all the opportunity I need. I respect Rhea. I know her better than she knows herself. NXT でリアが何をぶん投げても、どんなに残酷に叩きつけられても、私は勝ってきた。In 2 weeks, when I pin Rhea once again, I will take my rightful spot at the top of this division and punch my ticket to Wrestlemania. それは私のチャンピオンシップだって信じてる。そしてそれを取り戻す。
Like that. Beautiful.
I love her. How can you not just dig Io Sky? I'm just saying.
She's great.
So
she's fantastic.
Yeah.
That actually plays into your theory last week, Joker, of potentially how it could end up being Io at WrestleMania and possibly, I think you said Liv
and Rhea Ripley, because I do believe that after the chamber, which I did a video today, which basically I just reviewed when I talked about the women's elimination chamber, and then went over the men's. I still stand by still stand by my pick that Liv is going to win the Chamber match, and then the Monday following during Rhea and Io's match, Liv and Raquel are going to interfere, cause a disqualification or a no contest, and then Adam Pearce is going to make it a triple threat. Now I'm hearing WrestleMania may have quite a few triple threats, and I'm like, oh dear God, no. Because we do not want WrestleMania 2000 all over again. That was just
I agree with you.
That's what I was trying. I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to figure out when it comes to Elimination Chamber. I thought it was just like if you win, you go to WrestleMania. So I assumed that all the matches would wind up being like triple threats anyway.
No.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, what's the? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree with you, Joker. But the problem is, under contract, the wrestlers get paid for these events. So when they don't.
That was under the old pay-per-view model. That's correct.
Well, but a lot of the wrestlers still operating under those contracts, meaning you can't just unilaterally say, "Well, I'm changing your contract. I'm not doing pay-per-view anymore." You got to wait till the contract expires and give them a new deal.
Well, everyone's contract when they went to Peacock changed.
No, it can't. It can only change by your consent. It's the law. It is. You have to change a contract. You have to consent to it, or you have to terminate it and basically be hired.
You renegotiate,
right? So as far as I know, no one is under the WWE umbrella. It's under the old pay-per-view model because WWE doesn't do pay-per-views anymore.
You can't get out of the old contract by just saying you don't do pay-per-views anymore. So what'll happen is you'll go to court, and the court will say, "Well, these PLEs are kind of like pay." This is what the judges will say. So you have to slowly morph them as every contract expires. You take out the right. So some of these wrestlers who have to appear at WrestleMania, Triple H has the right idea of making these things small, right? I think what they're doing with these events are still big, WrestleMania, which is 2 days and all that, is getting these guys in there so they can fulfill those contract terms. And that's why you had out of nowhere. Remember the match last year with they were Hurt Locker back then, right?
No, the Pride. The
Pride, yeah, whatever they were called. It was a good match, but there was no storytelling to get it there. You know what I mean?
Right, and I think that's why I think that ever since 36, they've gone to the 2-night system at Mania to get more people on these match cards. We get a comment right here, Eric Douglas. Even though I would love Liv winning, I still think it's going to be Bianca. Okay, and a lot of folks think that. I'm just like, there's no. How are you going to build that story in 6 weeks when Bianca and Rhea are on different shows and have had no interaction whatsoever?
There's a crackle going on.
Yeah,
it's Ego fixing his microphone.
Yeah.
So again, as we talked last week, the Bianca and Rhea is the money match. If Rhea goes back to her old heel style, where she is that ruthless with that ruthless style, using her braid to choke her out. Okay, fine. That's a fine match. I just don't see it now. I do think it will happen. It's just not going to happen this year.
What about the possibility that we have Jade Cargill return to get vengeance on the person who actually injured her?
You mean Naomi?
Turns out Naomi or Bianca.
So it'll be Jade Cargill in a car with Rikishi driving someone over. He's banking money.
I mean,
hey, they're paying me. I'll do it.
They teased it with Liv and Raquel walking away. I think it's going to be either Naomi or Bianca who did it, and Bianca's just to be like, I'm jealous of Jade Cargill for some reason getting fans or something, and then she comes back better than ever because she's been at the PFC, and now Ego's going to have to get back on board because he's completely abandoned Jade. Everyone else here is going to love Jade except for Ego. That's what's going to happen.
I
think
don't.
that's
think-
it's highly likely. I'm upset you called that with such clarity because that is very likely to happen. I'll be so pissed. I'll be so mad, bro.
Wait.
I'll be so mad.
So basically, if they just put Jade in a new box and made it like shiny wrapping paper again, Ego's back on board.
It's different.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
variant. It's a variant.
You know, I want to
Yes.
say
Yeah,
this.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's,
the
it's
number-
exclusive.
you know-
It's exclusive. Yes,
That's right. Don't open that box though, because it's in mint. It's mint condition.
We have to hope
Exactly.
that Shawn Michaels and company can fix Jade Cargill because she's got it physically.
Right.
Unlike a lot of women who like
She has the look.
big. Not just
Yeah,
the look,
great
but
look.
she's legitimately powerful. Unlike the fake powerhouse women they have all over WWE now. Like Nia Jax's not a powerhouse, you know. I'm sorry, Bianca Belair, she's not a powerhouse, you know. She's not. She's strong for one on her side, but I can't imagine her like lifting up Nia like she's nothing. And I know Jade Cargill can do that. Okay, I know she can do that. The question is, can she do it in a way that is believable in the ring? That's what's up to Shawn Michaels, you know.
and that
But,
she doesn't hurt someone.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
along with the Elimination Chamber, which we have the matches, the Elimination Chamber matches, we also have a couple other things that have been added to it. And that is, let me find it right here. Okay, we'll go right here.
A Vietnam landmine match.
No, thank God, no. That would be no, Mr. Matt. There is no murder scenes allowed. Stop. There's silly boy, you. So we have got added to this match as this match. I called it. I said it was going to happen. We're getting Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Only this is now a unsanctioned match. Now,
Can't we just call them a hardcore match? Or
you know what, Matt? I agree with you, and that's why a couple weeks ago with my bad stipulations, I was like, the street fights, whatever, it's all a hardcore match. So this has Ego, just because I'm assuming you're the naive one here as far as to what an unsanctioned match is.
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell that is.
Okay. So an unsanctioned match is a match that we the WWE are not responsible for anything that happens to you during this match.
well,
We have no responsibility whatsoever, except as a
Allegedly.
referee. Except though there will be a
Okay.
referee there to count the.
can I put a little history on that, Joker?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So what the term sanction refers to, and God knows why, and no one knows why, but for many decades in the U.S., professional wrestling was licensed by the same sports commissions that did boxing and other contact sports. Okay. No one knows why. Even though everyone said wrestling was not real, like it was choreographed, for decades, the boxing commissions would sanction these matches, right? These matches. And so an unsanctioned match, therefore, meant something. Well, you can't have an unsanctioned match in the U.S. unless you go to a state where they'll sanction it versus one you don't. That was a competition, right? Now, why, like, in the era we know professional wrestling is choreographed, would we even call something an unsanctioned match? And
Right.
and AEW and W have both been guilty of it. They, even TNA had one, I think, a few months ago. They're all
Right,
guilty of this.
NXT will have them, and they're called a lights out match. That this match is dark. It's not official.
You know,
And yet there's a referee there.
the only time I'm okay with calling it a non-hardcore match is if you're in some place like you're in Texas and call it a Texas death match. That's like a local tribute type of thing. I'll be cool with that, you know. But you don't call it a Texas death match if you're having it in Canada. You know what I mean? You know, I'm looking at you, TNA. I'm looking at you. You know, and and just to about the match itself, you know, I have seen Kevin Steen and Sami Zayn, or I don't remember his name from beforehand.
El
Generico. El Generico. I don't know. He had a name too, not just El Generico before
Right.
that. I've seen them wrestle each other and face and heel turn against each other since 2003. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I know maybe
They have a
you
storied
younger,
history.
WWE guys aren't as like into the story history of these two guys. So fine, it's newer, but we've seen in WWE for 10 years now. Okay. I know it's going to be a great match. They're two of the top 10 guys, but just like you can see Randy Owens turning on someone like every day of the week. Randy Owens can walk in the store and you get RKO the little girl buying cookies. Randy Orton. Sammy KO can walk into a store and you expect him to hit the stunner on like the clerk who gives him change. They heel turn at the drop of a dime. You know what I mean? There's no built-in storyline to them doing this with Sami Zayn because you saw it coming a mile away. Even though Kevin Owens is right, he's right.
Kevin Owens is right.
So it's honestly with the two of them. I mean, they have that history and they know each other. I mean, they've been best friends basically forever. So, them putting on a great match is going to be not a no-brainer. But like Matt's saying, it's like, they're going to go against each other. It's like high school boyfriend and girlfriend get together for a bit, they hang out for a bit, then they break up again, then they get back together and they break up again. That's kind of what it's playing. And I love the great match, but it's kind of just,
as I say, couples who break up and get back together, break up and get back together. I say this every time. The reason you break up the next time will be the same reason you broke up the first time. Stop me when I'm telling lies.
Let me put this in context. I don't want people to say I'm just bitching about this. Okay, so this is like if there's you ever started saying, well, you wait to watch a train wreck coming because you want to see the train wreck, right? So way back when Jericho and Kevin Steen Owens were best buds, you knew one of them was going to stab the other in the back so bad that there'll be a body left in the ring. We knew that, okay? But they wrote it so well that you enjoyed it. Whereas this time, this is the 17th time in WWE alone that Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens betrayed the other guy. It's just, oh my God, you didn't have my back in a match where I was going to murder someone? I mean, that's almost as bad as when the Big Show, Mark Henry heel turned on the Big Show because the Big Show tagged him into the ring too hard.
Yeah, so we got that, and I just got word that we are over halfway to double-digit likes again. Let's keep that streak rolling.
Keep it rolling.
If you're like the stream, share the stream, and we have.
I'd say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
We all have our socials down in the description, so please check out all of that as well. I love it. Bye.
Later, love it.
So, along with the unsanctioned match, we're getting a women's tag match. Toronto's own Trish Stratus. Gee, I wonder why she's in this match. Teaming up with Tiffany Stratton against Candice LeRae and Nia Jax. Talk about lazy booking. This has been one of my biggest beefs, and I've been saying it on this show for quite some time. Some of the booking, especially with the women, has been atrocious. Just for example, and we'll come back to the tag team match in a second, but just for the Elimination Chamber match, to qualify, you had on Raw, you had Bayley defeat your women's Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, it was weird.
Who this coming Monday is having her first title defense since she won the title, the second Raw on Netflix. It's been over a month. No title defense at all. And they were teasing a feud with Ivy Nile of American Made, but they're going right back to a rematch with Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
And then
where could they've put another championship match? I mean, there's not like there's a PLE. Oh.
And then on top of that, you have on SmackDown the Women's United States champion, which I love Chelsea Green. She does the best work for what she has given, but they have booked her terribly. I mean,
yep.
You cannot have 3 straight title matches against the same person and expect this to be compelling. It is against Michin, who just said
Why
she was-
Michin?
well, because they had that dumpster match, that little mini feud that caught some attention. But Michin even said I believe she was talking with PW Insider or some podcast or something, and she said, I still have been unable to connect with the audience. I don't even know who I am as a character. This is a problem with your division. However, I can solve both mid-card titles very simply. On Raw, as quickly as you can, you put Lyra in a feud with Becky Lynch. Get Becky Lynch involved in that right now, because now you've got a well-known name that has equity to, and what Becky does well of late is put people over. Which by the way, Paul Levesque, WWE, if you're serious about creating new stars, Tiffany Stratton goes over on Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
Hell
Just
yeah.
a tip.
Yeah.
So
no, I want to see Charlotte as champion again.
I am Charlotte. I am the android. I want the
I want to see the rock bottom Charlotte Flair through the ring.
You had to say
No, Bronson Reed returns.
that's better.
On the splash. There we
Better.
go.
Bronson Reed returns.
Now,
True.
as far as
Turn her into an oil slick.
as far as the Women's United States title, Matt, you may not like this idea, but again, there needs to be some equity on this belt. As soon as you can, get that belt off of Chelsea Green and put it on Alexa Bliss.
I'm not opposed to that
That's right.
because
She's
at
going to
least
SmackDown.
they'll book Alexa seriously, where they won't let Chelsea, who is legit, leaving aside the NXT women, she's one of the top 5 women performers in terms of what she can do in the ring right now in WWE. And
mic work and promo work.
well, that aside, I'm just saying, you know, she's better than a comedy act. So is Piper.
Yes.
And
so is Piper. Yeah.
I don't know what it's like. Vince has just left booking just those 2 people, you know, and I don't know, but you know, if they're not gonna, I mean, I don't know what to say, because it's not just because I like her. I've been a fan of her since Lucha days or whatever. But
And I was gonna say that who's the one that keeps accompanying Liv to the ring?
Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, I didn't even know she could wrestle that well or
She
well
can't.
enough to me.
She
Really?
can't. She's terrible.
Huh. Okay.
Makes China look gifted.
Okay,
That's the
so
first time
here-
I'm seeing her wrestle.
Okay,
I'm
so-
not gonna lie.
we're just
I-
using the
so-
excellent ring work of Nia Jax.
I've seen matches from Raquel in her NXT days
Yes.
and main roster days. She reminds me of someone of that kid in high school who has the growth spurt and hasn't grown into their body yet.
Okay. All
They're
right.
very awkward. And
She's a support talent.
right. And she's, I mean, again, that spot last week with swinging Liv around like the
That
weapon.
was also her. Got it.
Well, that caused Liv to get that scar now
Scar
above
over her head.
her eye. I mean,
That is fair.
don't
That
do the
was a good
spot.
idea.
I
Don't
will
do the
say that
spot.
I mean, I know that she did one move where she jumped up the ropes backwards, did 316, did an elbow. I thought that was
Oh.
nice.
That's a Vader bomb. Do with a twist.
I was like, you know what? Hey, looks pretty cool to me. I didn't know she could wrestle,
She can't.
but I mean,
I am not a fan of
maybe
Not
I
You
a
can
have
see her again.
to. There's just like to break it down. I mean, without going crazy, because it was obviously we have showtime here. You got to be able to do more than one thing. Like you can't. It's not just putting yourself over. You got to put your opponent over. You have to work as clean as possible. You have to be able to tell the story in the ring if you're a face or the heel. You know, like for example, just to go for someone else, like Nia, one of the things she fails at miserably as a heel is she doesn't react to the crowd.
No.
When the crowd's booing you, you have to yell at them, get pissed them off even more. or put the face to a head first to a table. Like she doesn't make the crowd angrier. That's one of the feelings as a heel, you know. So and Raquel, for example, now does nothing other than maybe her own moves well. That's about it.
Right.
Okay.
This is part of just the overall package. You've got to be able of being an overall performer, and this was kind of the problem with that match for the last spot between Raquel and Roxanne. You've booked a heel against a heel. So who's playing the baby face? I mean, Roxanne got the babyface treatment, but Roxanne is not a babyface. She's a heel.
I thought she was a babyface. Okay.
No, she's a heel.
Wow.
She's a heel. No.
That's confusing.
Well, I mean, let me correct. Maybe they're trying to make her into a babyface. I don't think they should. I think if you come up like the first thing in as a wrestler, especially if you're relatively new, you don't have an established reputation worldwide or whatever, you'd want to be a heel because it gets you over with the crowd faster and more thoroughly. Like because if you make them hate you enough, when it's time to love you, they really love you. You know what I mean?
Or if the company thinks that you are very or if the company thinks you are very marketable right off the gut, right off the rip, baby face you, and you'll sell merch like crazy. So
Cody.
Right. So that was
Cody had a worldwide rep though. I mean,
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So again, we have the women's tag match, and again, this is kind of where I go with why do we have the legends here? Because this right here, Trish Stratus, okay, it's in Toronto, fine. Okay, I get it. Local pop, her city, it's where she's from. But this is a spot that could have been taken by somebody else on the active roster. Whoever that is, I don't know. That's your department booking, not me. I'm just here to commentate on it. So,
this is different than the Rumble. Like the Rumble, you have that one legend spot for marketing, legacy, whatever. It's there. This Trish should be the guest referee or something. That will be the purpose of that. You know.
I like that.
Yeah,
it's better.
That makes more sense.
Oh, it's kind of sad that is she 40-something years old now? She's still a better wrestler than most of the women on the roster.
I won't go that far, but yeah.
Oh, come on. I'm leave NXT out of it, but look at some of the. I mean, remember when we say most of we're all thinking clearly the better ones, but there's a lot floating around down there that couldn't wrestle the way out of a bag, and need to be cut or sent or something,
or who were valets, and that's completely fine.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with being a valet. Miss Elizabeth was a millionaire and was a valet.
Yeah. Well, she also divorced the Macho Man too. So.
That I'm sure that upped her, upped her financial status.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that we get, since we are in WrestleMania season here, is the Hall of Fame. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Brad showed that that Paul Levesque, Triple H, will be headlining the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony the Friday before night one of WrestleMania. Well deserved. Mm-hmm. He is already in as part of the D-Generation X action, but now he's going in as a in-ring talent. Mm-hmm. I think before all is said and done, he will also go in as an executive as well. That's just my thought. But last week we got our second notice of who will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025, and that is Mrs. Undertaker herself, Michelle McCool. Anyone have any? I'll start with Matt first. Any thoughts on Miss McCool?
Well, this is a boy. Okay, we have to recognize the WWE Hall of Fame is a promotional thing, not
right. It is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not an actual Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
What?
But within that context, she has a sort of career that would say, okay, she's done some. I don't know if she's the first Divas champion or something.
Correct. She was.
She had a couple of things in her career other than being Mrs. Undertaker that would
qualify her,
right? So, and we have to recognize that with this type of promotional Hall of Fame, not a like Hall of Fame, we're gonna get people in there who are like they have to fill the class out. And whereas like with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you could just vote another quarterback in or something like that. Triple H basically has to pick someone, or whoever you assign to it, to pick people who they can promote, who are, not gonna have negative character faults and all that. So that's kind of my thoughts on when I heard this.
Okay. So
although I will say one more thing, she is responsible for keeping the Undertaker physically in terms of training and medical support. She did a lot behind the scenes to help the Undertaker with stuff.
Right. So you mentioned a couple weeks ago that Vince had wrestlers finish a match and then they went to the back and Vince had them go out and redo the match.
Yep.
That was her. That was Michelle McCool. It was Michelle McCool and Melina. And the reasoning was because when they would throw a punch, it looked better. They sold it better than the guys. So they had them go out and redo the match and not make the male talent look as bad. And Michelle and Melina both said, well, that's a you problem, guys. That's not an us problem.
Yeah, I know he did it to Jericho once too. Jericho was talking about his podcast that Vince made him do it.
All right, so real quick, so Thomas, Michelle McCool was in probably one of the more athletic talent during a time when women's wrestling was treated as a joke. These were just they were eye candy. They were meant to do broad panty matches and just be the objects of Vince's fantasies. Now
they were called divas, and they had a reality TV show.
There was that as well. Now, Michelle is a two-time WWF Women's Champion. She's a two-time Divas Champion. Most famously known for I did not like this book. Or this gimmick, but when she was paired up with Layla, and they were called Lay Cool, where they shared the women's title. So now I have also heard. Now, of course, with this, and that as of right now is the class of 2025. It is Paul Levesque, Triple H, and Michelle McCool. I have heard though that just signed to a Legends deal. They can now market them again. And what Paul Levesque has been doing is building bridges of very bad breakups between former talent and WWE now. So possibly be inducted into the Hall of Fame as they are now on this Legends contract. If you grew up in the rock and wrestling era, you know these guys. Demolition.
Oh wow. Okay.
So again, well deserved. I mean, a long time overdue. They were also they were involved in the 2016 concussion lawsuit, and that's why Vince pushed the New Day to beat their record, their tag team reign.
Well, in defense, the New Day was very over, so it wasn't. And there's a demolition that's foreshadowing one of my picks later.
Interesting. I may have had that one.
Now, I also think that because this, and also I believe it's Axe from Demolition is not doing well health wise. It would be nice to get them in before he passes. Kind of like I think this year a Psycho Sid will get inducted. I think Bray Wyatt should be inducted.
Definitely.
but is this going to be a big class? No, it's maybe could be 5 or 6. So
Well,
does
the
anyone
interesting
else- go on.
regarding Demolition, the interesting thing with Demolition now, given that Brian Adams is also dead, will he get in with them because
Crush?
he's crushed?
Probably not.
Well,
Probably not.
he's well liked by the industry, and it'd be tough to get him in as Brian Adams, but as you know, like in other words, him being crushed, maybe there was some BS behind that, forcing out Demolition, blah blah blah. But the wrestlers and the fans were okay with him doing that. It was management that made a stink of it. So
We'll see.
they might try to squeeze him in there.
We will see. So, so Ego, is there anyone you would like to see in this year's class of 2025?
I honestly don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what the I guess the parameters of it are, because the only thing I have to compare it to is like wrestling, football. So
it's basically who we like.
okay,
And if we can, so going into the Hall of Fame, like Matt said, it's a marketing campaign.
okay.
And when you go on the con circuits, you can up your asking fee.
Oh, okay. Man, I'm trying to think of anyone that already isn't there. I mean, Diamond Dallas Page got in a few years. That was like my number one. I really wanted to see Diamond Dallas Page get it, and he has it now. It's just
You like
the
the
ones
bang,
that I
huh?
want. Oh, dude, I was doing this shit all the time, just yelling bang around the house. But yeah, like that's yeah. I'm sorry, man.
Wow. Wow. I can just imagine you as a child. Where did you watch that? Yeah, that is not on Little House on the Prairie, Ego.
You're not shitting, bro. That was the first show we could watch in the mornings.
Wow.
But yeah, it's Diamond Dallas Page. The rest are already currently wrestling. So
Gotcha. Brad, any thoughts on the current class? Some of the maybes, maybe someone you might want to see.
I mean, people I think who should be in there is, someone like Christian or Jericho should be in there, but it's not going to happen, obviously. And Jericho's already said, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But
Great.
yeah, they're also tied to AEW. Yeah,
Well,
it's just really tough to think, because I'm like trying to go through the list now. And like, who do I remember back from, when I was watching really hardcore back in the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression era? I'm just like, who's left? We're going to put Cena at some point, but
Right.
it's not this year. I mean, it'll be next year probably. It'll probably be next year with Cena after he finishes his run.
Cena's got a headline class.
Okay, he will. So speaking of, as the Hall of Fame will kick off WrestleMania, we've been here. I've been hearing through the IWC and IW in wrestling on X and whatever, this wading through that cesspool, that WrestleMania this year is going to suck. And I'm like, guys, we're in the same place we were last year. I mean, and that the matches aren't very good. I mean, and I'm like, we've only got 2 matches announced. So which one do you want? I mean, so now my take on this, are we ever going to see what we had last year? No. Because one right before the Rumble, like literally the Thursday before the Vince McMahon lawsuit came out, and which took Brock Lesnar out of the Rumble and took him out of Mania, which he was supposed to challenge Gunther for the IC title. Then during the Rumble itself, hey, what's up, Wade? How you doing, sir?
Welcome,
Make sure
dude.
to hit that like while you're here. And so then during the Rumble, CM Punk got hurt. That was your night 1 main event. It was going to be Punk and Rollins, with Punk winning the World Heavyweight Championship. So already you've got a couple matches that are not already in limbo, 2 high-profile matches, and then some bald chucklehead decides, oh, I'm gonna save WrestleMania. You, Mr. Winner of the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row, give me your spot.
Ooh.
God, that fucking asshole.
That's an owl here. I'm sorry.
Right?
Oh,
So WrestleMania 40 at this point was already chaos. So, and I will give him credit. Edit after it blew up in his face. He made the turn and he made the pivot, which is something he did not want to do. Dwayne Johnson does not want to be a heel.
No, but you know what Dwayne Johnson does want? Money.
Yeah. Now that he
has more money than God right now. I mean, he's making money before, so.
So, but as far as matches go, at this point where we were last year, we're in exactly the same place. We have 2 matches picked. So, where we go from here, I don't know. So,
I don't think the final boss is going to show at this point.
Well, apparently on his Instagram, he had a little thing. Oh, I'm just sitting with my dogs watching Casino, and I'm like, oh God, just shut up.
Oh shit.
Just stop it.
I just thought of someone who should go in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, and that
he
that would
died.
be-
He died in December. Rey Mysterio.
Oh, senior.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always call Junior, so I'm not gonna, you know what I mean. So, yeah, but he would be great. He'd be a great filler. Then another thing on the Rock and the Bloodline, I saw something where it's rumored now. I think Sportskeeda was talking about it, where they want to just shelve the whole Bloodline for a long time now.
Well, I don't know where that's gonna go, because I do believe that we are headed toward a WrestleMania match, which will probably be Solo Sikoa and Jacob.
No, I get that. What I'm saying is there's not going to be like the good bloodline and the bad bloodline. And like they're just going to be guys in the NOA family fighting each other, you know?
Yeah, possibly. I just, again, I am looking at this like, okay, what can we do? And we've got folks speculating already. I mean, one match that I'm hearing is for the IC title. It's going to be, they're going to do like a ladder match where it's going to be Braun Breaker and a bunch of other guys. And I'm like, why? Why?
You know, especially when TLC is like a month later?
It's all a thing, yeah.
Well, and my thing is this. Okay, matches on this type of scale for a title should be, unless it's used very sparingly, like in the case of Rhea, Liv, and Io, should be one-on-one.
Yes.
So let's say right after Chamber, we've got a fatal 4-way match between Ludwig Kaiser, AJ Styles, Penta, and Sheamus. The winner of that gets Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. So then you've got at least 5 weeks to build something between them. And you can do the same thing. And I just got word again, we're at 9 likes, 1 like away from double-digit likes again. So let's get that 1 like in, because as
I'd say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
and she will do it too. So, and then I'm also hearing that, and I'm just annoyed by this, that either the main event for night 2 is going to be an idea that's being tossed around, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
No.
I'm like, no, please no. No. Or Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and CM Punk. And I'm like, no. Even more no.
No.
And then I'm
Cena can't do this.
And then I'm also hearing Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. I'm like, for what?
Well, here's the thing.
Why?
How does
what
storyline in the 2 months or whatever that's left gets you there? I'm okay with a triple threat or 3-way or 4 fatal. If the storyline leads
makes
you there,
sense.
if you got to write a storyline that gets you there.
So, like I said, Rhea, Liv, and Io, it makes sense. You've got existing storylines
Yeah,
there.
they're laying the storyline right now with Io's little vignettes.
Yes. So this is, but again, Punk, but Roman and Seth, that should be a blow-off match of a decade plus anger feud.
Yeah, that would make sense. I'd be
That's
okay
all
with
you-
that.
And thank
That
you,
works.
chat. I just got informed by Mr. Ego here. Another week, double digit likes, but don't stop there, folks. Keep sharing the stream out, getting more likes on this, more eyes on this, because the more we get this out to the algorithm, we can start pushing this. Once we get this show monetized, we can do more things. We can give out memberships, member emojis, super chats. We can do a whole lot of cool stuff. And by the way, I've just got thank you, Thomas Preston. Mr. 11 likes. Thank you, sir, right there. And also, I just talked to my guys at Mixed Tees. Not only will we be getting shirts with the Wednesday night's Overbooked logo there, but my merch store is going to be more than just shirts. There will be coffee mugs, mouse pads, beer steins, hats. So should be a lot of fun with that as well.
Nice.
So does anybody have any matches that of what I've just laid out? Any thoughts?
I like your thought of it being the what was it you said? The decades plus, like the shield feud, like a triple threat. That's great. That's a match you can pull that out of thin air. There's already enough built up. I don't see how you're gonna make any match with Cena and Rhodes make any sense in a short period of time. If you make it even if you add Cena, Cody Rhodes, and
Punk.
CM Punk, I don't get it. I don't. It's too chaotic as the way it sounds. So I mean, I like the Shield feud. That's better.
Now, my thing with this, when I heard possible Seth, Roman, and Punk, I'm like, for what? What's this for? What are the stakes? I mean, unless you're going to have this be your night one main event, and then the winner goes and challenges for something in night two. But if it's just
What would they challenge for?
who knows? Who knows?
No, Punk wins Elimination Chamber, goes on to face Cody,
And
you
win.
can have
What it
Seth
should be.
and Roman have their own fight. And
what it
then
should
later on,
be.
Cena can come back for his nostalgia thing against CM Punk champion.
So, and again, I go to the same thing, and I said it last week. You have a built-in story for John Cena for the entire year of 2025. Don't blow your wad right now. Matt, any thoughts on stuff?
Well, the booking work between now and then, because it seems, I guess, 7 or 8 matches per night.
That's 7 or 8. Yeah.
It seems a lot to fill. I still think we're going to see the last WWE blow up between Shinsuke Nakamura and my brain. Why is my brain dying?
AJ?
Night?
Yeah, and AJ, yeah.
Well,
okay.
that would be tough to get that
It's on Raw.
right. Well, one's on
There's a
SmackDown.
way to do it.
Right.
They can. I'm sure he could find a way to do it. You know what I mean? But
In this short of time, I don't think it'll happen.
No.
That's just
well.
me.
The thing is, since they have so many matches to build up, they can get that one based on past history. Like these guys had legends before. They want final go round or whatever. Nakamura has moved clearly into heel territory, and AJ has moved clearly into face territory, which is another pet peeve of mine. Okay, now, I know as a wrestling fan, we're supposed to forget this stuff. Okay, I get that, but
Where's your memory of a goldfish, sir?
Yes.
But with AJ's face turn and worse, remember when Damage Control was so over his heels because they literally jumped Bailey out of the gang?
Yeah.
And they were horrible villains. And what did they do to give that heel heat to someone and then become faces? Like there's a story evolution supposed to occur. It's not like you jump Bailey out of the gang, you all take a vacation and come back and we're faces now, which is what they did. Same thing with AJ. He for no reason he became a heel for no reason at all except to give Cody a short-term feud, and now he's back to being a face again. It's like let's just edit. The tape.
I mean, talk about dropping the ball. Talk about dropping the ball. You had probably one of the best on TV heel turns in at least a decade when Kofi and Xavier turned on Big E.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were not seen on TV for 4 weeks after that. You just all that heat gone.
Yeah, it's like, they could have ran with that. And I called it. I said either they have to turn them or put them on the shelf for a year or two. And
now, what they should have done, because I am convinced of this. Right now, the New Day should be the World Tag Team Champions.
if they continue as heels, like if they
right,
yes, they have to continue as heels.
So we got a whole lot of stuff, and we're talking about characters and whatnot, and bad booking decisions. But historically, in the world of professional wrestling, there have been very, very bad gimmicks / characters. And it has now come to this point where we all love the show. It is the Wednesday Night is Overbooked Top 5, where we will be discussing the worst pro wrestling gimmicks of all time. And just to let you know, next week, as we're doing the worst this week, next week it will be the top 5 best professional wrestling gimmicks, not named the Undertaker. We all took a collective vote. Undertaker's number 1. There's no question. Maybe Ego can do a little video tribute of the Undertaker in the week too. In the week to follow. You get to make a list already? Good. I like it already. We're good.
I once saw an Undertaker video where some dude spliced him together of like 8,000 choke slams.
Oh, dear God.
it's just this over and over again with random wrestlers.
Okay. So, any new folks here? The way this works, we have a category and we rank our top 5 of this category. Now, we go on a point system. Our number 5 pick gets 1 point, so on and so forth. So our number 1 pick gets 5 points. And at the end of this, we should have a definitive worst or best, whichever depends on the week, winner of this category, which is the worst.
Scientifically
gimmicks.
Verified.
Scientifically verified.
Legally
yes.
approved.
And he went to a private college, so he would know. So that's why. 2 private colleges. Really, where else did
I went to a different school for law school.
Where'd you go for law school?
I went to a place called Stetson. I could not get into Duke Law School. Jesus Christ.
Okay, I was gonna say, damn. Excuse me.
Hell, I was a Duke Law grad. I was stupid. I was stupid enough to become a lawyer, for God's sakes.
All righty. On that note, Mr. Left Eye Humble, Left Eye Ego, Midline Marcus, your number 5, sir.
You know what? My 5 for worst gimmick is the Goldberg undefeated streak, actually.
So just Goldberg?
Yes, that's it. It hurts to say, but yes.
Goldberg.
Now,
wow.
I will say, since meeting y'all and talking with you guys about it.
Hold on. Ego, I have something for you. I have something specially for you. So proud of you, sir.
Yes,
so proud of you.
If you'd done number 1, you'd be even prouder.
I know. It's 5. Don't get ahead of yourselves. It's just, in retrospect, what you guys told me, putting someone that wasn't used to wrestling and hadn't been through any kind of development and being pushed to have an undefeated streak and not being as technically sound in the ring and costing Bret Hart, I think, a decade in wrestling from that concussion from his
Cost him the rest of his career.
Oh, damn. See, that's worse. Okay, I didn't know that. He just said 10 years. I didn't know that was the last 10 that he had. Yes, I say it was not a good idea to do that. So I have it as a terrible gimmick. I would have accepted the Giant.
Hey, hey, Joe.
Joe.
Glad you're here, man.
Even when go ahead. Even when Kevin Nash was Oz, there's certain ones that are you can accept because of like they're tall, they got the stature. But I mean, throwing Goldberg out there and putting him in front of people that really knew what they were doing and only to concuss them or hurt them in order to be a part of his streak was not a good idea. So I concede he's the 5th worst gimmick that I've had.
What makes it worse is that Goldberg, he wanted training, and all those wrestlers wanted to train him because he had the physical charisma. He knew how to move. He's athletic, and they like I remember the famous was Lord Steven Regal match. Where Regal went over to try, so I'll put him over. I'll make him look good. Just let me work with him so I can show him some moves. And they wouldn't let him do it.
No.
Oh, they wouldn't let him work with other people? That's a damn shame. Oh, wow.
All righty.
Okay.
Brad, you're number 5, sir.
All right. I'm switching some stuff around on the fly. As I already said, I was thinking about the gobbledygooker, but in my opinion, we said this is wrestlers. So that may be saved for another time. And still, I move stuff around, and I'm going to go with the WCW one, and it was split between two. Split between one of Kevin Nash's first appearances in WCW, which is bad. Oz, yes. But I went with the Yeti. Not the Yeti.
My God.
The Yeti.
Yeah.
Because that's what Tony Schiavone called him when he came out. The Yeti. Which I don't know if you're aware of this.
No, I wasn't. And blissfully, I forgot this.
Weird.
Oh my God. Well, first off, you need to understand the true Yeti is not the abominable snowman. He's not a white furred Bigfoot. The true Yeti is a mummy. Yes. And he was encased in ice. Yeah. And he appeared at the end of, I think, one of the pay-per-views. For some reason, it just burst out, and he's just and then later on, he in another episode, some week or two later, Hogan's wrestling with the Giant during some Giant fight or something, and Giant has him in a bear hug, and the Yeti comes down, and literally he's like literally a freaking mummy comes down, grabs hold of Hogan from behind and gets in a twin bear hug. And the way that he bear hugs him is really, really inappropriate. In my old job, I could have charged him with a sexual crime.
So glad that I missed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the good thing, though, is they did change him up, if I recall correctly, because then he became Super Ninja.
A ninja. Yes, he was a ninja.
He did. Because, the Yeti is near... in Asia, he then transferred to Japan and became a ninja. I did research.
And what's the sad thing
insane
about that, he almost made my list, is that the Dungeon of Doom was a great heel stable. And that
it was a great concept, but then this happened.
This turned into comedy, and
Joker, go back and just watch.
Oh no, there's no need. There's no need.
Yes, you got it.
I got enough already. Matt, you're number 5.
Oh, my number 5. So anyone who knows me knows that ECW is my all-time favorite thing with wrestling. Okay,
shocking.
And other than the Undertaker, and when Vince brought back ECW, I was like mixed, ambivalent. I heard well, he's gonna make it separate. I was like, okay, and then the ECW zombie happens, and and I was like,
Sandman, right? That was Sandman, right?
I think I don't remember if Sandman played him because the dude did not have. No, Sandman couldn't pass the drug test at the time.
Oh,
yeah.
And I believe this was because it was on a sci-fi network, was what ECW was on.
Sci-Fi Channel, they wanted a sci-fi character, which they had the Hurricane. They had a superhero character they could have promoted who was over with the fans. And you
There
know,
was another.
They made a vampire too, huh?
well, they could have just hired Vampiro, who wanted to work for them, who's a well over luchador heavy metal character. You know,
And
they
vampire.
yeah, Vampiro. I mean, hell, they could have just brought back Gangrel. I mean, there's tons of things they could have did, but instead we get the ECW Zombie, who is not a bad wrestler, by the way. I'm not criticizing the dude. Okay, I forget at the time who it was, the original one, because I think 2 different dudes played him at one point.
I think Sandman was one on a.
It was not the original because there was a lot of drug test issues at the time. And they worry more about the Sandman. Wait for next week. Spoilers.
All right, so my number 5. We've mentioned the Hurricane here.
Oh no.
WWE tried to do a superhero thing again
I'm writing it down.
with Nikki ASH. Almost
I thought
a
you were calling the other
superhero.
one.
No. Nikki ASH. Almost a superhero. What made this thing terrible was the initials ASH stood for almost a superhero. So you're saying it twice. And this is Nikki Cross, who's 5 foot nothing. I mean, she's barely taller than Alexa Bliss. So basically playing Mighty Molly, basically trying to play
Wow.
Mighty Molly in this bright blue and yellow, and because she's trying to achieve her dreams, and when you achieve your dreams, it gives you like a superpower. So you're almost a superhero.
Gross.
Oh, thank you.
Gross.
I
And then-
really thought.
And then to say Nikki ASH, almost a superhero. I mean, they literally said that entire thing, and ASH stands for almost a superhero.
I mean, you can be redundant, but say it again.
Now well, I stutter, so that happens on the regular. So
There's a
Yeah, but they weren't. That's the worst part. Honestly, dude, when you were saying all that, I thought
You
you were
thought
going to talk
Rosie?
about Rosie.
Rosie, the superhero in training.
Training.
Listen to what the
Yeah, superhero training.
Right.
Yeah.
HIT. Yep.
yeah, because that's what the gimmick was. Shit.
Mhm.
Okay.
You swerved us, Joker.
Yeah, subtle. All right, Ego, you're number 4.
All right. I was looking at this and didn't figure this out until recently. It makes it worse because he's a former ECW champ. But I guess when he was in WCW, he went by Mike Awesome, the Fat Chick Thriller.
Oh no! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Mike Awesome is awesome. Don't the love.
I'm just saying the gimmick.
When he
because
almost
he went through
murdered
several of them.
murdered Shaggy off the bus. I was like, yes.
That was that 70s guy. I think that one. Because he went through like 2 or 3 gimmicks in like a year and a half's time. It's just the fact that it's like I want to know how you came up with that.
Which
I
gimmick?
personally loved Mike
Fat chick,
Awesome.
what'd you say?
Yeah.
Fat chick?
Mike Awesome, the Fat Chick Thriller. That was
Fat
what he was
Chick
going
Thriller.
by. The Fat Chick Thriller. And I'm just like, whose idea was it to say that? And like, if you're one of the women he's talking to, it's
It's
like
the Attitude Era, pal. It's the Attitude Era.
it's WCW.
It's Monday Night Wars. It's,
Yeah.
Oh God,
Monday
it
Night
gets so
Wars.
bad.
I'm just saying it was good.
He was over at ECW as a sort of murder machine, and
Yeah.
for some reason, rather than use that persona in WCW, they did a Vince and gave him one of the stupidest gimmicks you can imagine.
I just thought they were trying to compete with Val Venus, and it was just like it wasn't like that's not Val Venus's thing. Val Venus goes for all the women.
Ooh.
He's just like
that guy almost made my list.
If you want to hear how psychotic an audience can get, find an ECW match where Spike Dudley goes, "There's 500 tables out here, and I dare someone try to smash through one of them." Mike Awesome came out and smashed through all the tables, and the crowd was counting table smashes.
Oh dear God.
shit. Wow.
It is true, folks.
That's number 4. The
Folks.
fact that you can just say it out there. That's all. I got a number 4.
Wrestling fans are the true heels of the wrestling industry.
Yes.
Brad, you're number 4.
Again, I'm calling an audible on this one. Does anyone remember the Headbangers?
Yes.
Oh God!
Anyone remember
Mosh
when
and Sags.
Thrasher got injured?
Mosh and Thrash, yeah.
Right.
You're putting up on a
Mosh
previous
took on-
list.
What?
Go ahead.
Mosh had to go singles for a bit. So what better to do than call back to a 1950s classic and make it very weirdly incestuous with the name Beaver Cleavage,
Oh yeah.
who was engaging in very inappropriate commentary with his mother. Many times he would ask for milk for his dry cereal.
Wow.
If I can't drop the mic, but whatever.
That's fair enough.
Why? Look, Vince has been charged with many things. Vince has, lawsuits against him. This is a crime.
Well, you're not wrong.
I got nothing on that. I just got nothing to say. That's just Beaver Cleavage. Okay. Matt, you're number 4.
In a similar vein, and I alluded to this before with Demolition. For some reason, Vince decided that Smash needed a solo push, and he didn't give him a solo push as Smash. He didn't take a murder machine from Demolition and give him a solo push. Didn't do that. Vince did not think that was smart enough for the world.
Because Vince is a genius.
Vince is a genius. He decided that the audience would not even recognize that Smash was now the Repo Man, whose villainous heel trait was taking your car back when you defaulted on it. That was his villain. It wasn't the fact that Smash would smash people through tables when it wasn't common in WWE. It wasn't the fact that Demolition was being sold to people who would cripple people for life and wrestlers would be fired afterwards so they would never be seen in WWE again. It wasn't that. The Demolition got put over more than anyone other than The Undertaker and Kane in WWE history for murder stopping people. Okay? And wasn't that? No, can't go with Smash. Have to go with the Repo Man. Vince, I hope someday, if you do go to hell, which I don't know for sure or not, I'm not going to make a claim, that there's a special hell for turning him into the Repo Man, if that exists.
Vince probably thought the fans were so poor that all their cars were being repossessed at the time, so that's what would make him a hated character.
Oh God! Wow! Yeah, all the memories that these bring back.
And I can see on your face. You knew who I was talking about. As soon as I said Smash, I can see on your face that you knew where I was going.
So my number 4. I've made it very clear. I do watch NXT, and that Booker T as a commentator, I can't stand him. I disliked him even more in the ring. So when Vince booked him to win King of the Ring, and we got King Booker. And that stupid fake British accent, everything was just cringe. I never liked him as a wrestler. I think he's too stiff. Yes.
Even in Harlem Heat, bro.
Yes.
Harlem Heat was awesome.
Oh, come on.
No.
No.
Okay.
He reminds me of an. Okay. Booker T in his prime is that's gonna be Trick Williams in five years. That upright.
Don't you put that on Trick. Do not put that on Trick, sir.
Too late.
Although Booker T is in one of the 5 greatest promos of all time.
Possibly. But that doesn't change the fact that when he was King
Booker.
King
Booker.
With Queen, don't forget Queen Charmel.
Oh yeah,
Charmel.
Great. Who's in the Hall of Fame? Why? Okay, because she's married. That's a whole.
She's British.
Sure. This gimmick was cringy. He actually held a title during this. I could not turn the TV off fast enough. Or this was the time when I actually went to go when I went to go take a shit. When I would go make a sandwich, because by the time I got back, this segment would be over. I hated this character. That's my number 4. Ego, you're number 3.
All right, number 3 I'm actually going to set the stage for you guys. It's 1993. You're hearing these legends sitting next to each other. They are Ric Flair, Cole, from Harlem.
Oh, God. I know.
Yeah. Davey Boy, Sid Vicious, Sting, and Dustin Rhodes. And
I
you're
already
saying that
know.
they have a man that's going to save them. And then out pops the shot master. Oh my God. I'm trying to figure out what someone said to actively describe this. Because someone said that he looked like a bedazzled a gay stormtrooper with the body of Cartman. And he tries to run out, he tries to walk, trips over Lunder, falls, helmet falls off. You could hear Davey Boy saying he fell on his ass. Ric Flair's like, oh no. And Cole's like, who is this motherfucker? Like,
there's more.
Take.
Yeah.
There's more.
I'm only catching what I can hear, man.
Spoilers for something coming up on mine. That's all I'll say.
Oh,
Okay.
no shit. Me too.
I hadn't even heard that. When I looked, I'm like, who are they trying to put up that's going to be this guy? And I was like, oh, I thought it was a joke. And he kept talking. I'm like, never have I ever. Like, you got to quit that after you fall. It's done. Retire that immediately. So I got it at number 3, only because I didn't see it live.
No,
I would have put it higher if I hadn't seen it live.
Historical note before we go on. The reason he tripped, and I'm not saying is
no,
because
I know that. Yeah.
Okay, so that when they practiced it, he was doing it fine. Then some idiot put a 2x4 in place that wasn't there when they practiced it.
Okay.
And then someone I heard years later said that was a sabotage attempt. I don't know if that's true or not. But
really? Okay.
Yeah. No, that's all.
Brad, you're number 3.
My number 3. Hey, did you guys remember when Eric Bischoff was Raw general manager?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember he brought on his nephew? His nephew was very special.
Oh, Eugene.
Oh.
See, I liked Eugene, but
and I remembered this guy. I remembered Eugene, but I had to go back and do my research. Nick Dinsmore apparently was actually a pretty decent wrestler in Ohio Valley.
Yeah.
And then when he got to WWF, was it F or E at the time? I don't know. It was E. It was E. No, it was 2004. So it was E. Vinnie Mac did his traditional Vinnie Mac and created a horrific idea. Here, let's have a mentally retarded person be a wrestler. So he was so sweet and loving to everyone, and he didn't have any ability. But when he was in the ring, he was like a wrestling savant, which involved him doing the airplane spin a lot, running around the ring like an airplane, and then he would copy. Yeah, he'd Hulk up. He'd copy,
Macho,
pedigree, a stunner, a rock bottom. Also, look, I'm not a PC guy, but dude, this is wrong.
It's a known wrestling gimmick, though. George the Animal Steel, to name a Hall of Famer with the.
But George was the animal. Played as an animal. He literally is called Eugene, which is kind of a dorky name.
All right, Matt, you're number 3.
My number 3 is arguably the worst thing Vince ever came up with. Okay,
that's a lot.
Yeah,
Joker would say The Rock.
Even though Vince came up with the number 2 thing on my list, it wasn't as okay. So my number 3 is Bastion Booger.
I had him. I had him at one point.
And the gimmick is that the dude was as humanly disgusting as possible to be without being a criminal. So it wasn't a murder or a file or any of that. But he was
just gross.
Yeah, but he would never bathe. He looked like he had crap all over him. So like one of his moves was exposing you to his body odor, and the wrestler had a joke, like or rubbing his sweat on you, and you had to like act like you were grease licked and all that. Like he would like blow his nose on people.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't his finish like the earthquake smash?
No, it was called. I looked this up because I had
Into the Batcave. It was called Into the Batcave.
To the Batcave.
Yeah,
it's described, and I wrote this down. Jumping seated senton onto opponent's face, and I then wrote dropping his taint on opponent's face.
And he had a decent. He's a good wrestler in real wrestling life.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the lunatic in WCW, which was pretty okay. He wrestled in AAA and all that. So it's not like he's been around, and he did, but the Bastion Burger game, I guess, to get the WWE money, you do it, but oh man, you know what I mean? It's just it's disgusting. It was the worst until the only two gimmicks worse than it are the two I'm going to bring up, and I'm not talking about like of major league gimmicks. Like there's like triple like minor league gimmicks you could bring up where some dude's gimmick is eating raw grass and spitting on people or crazy shit like that. This ain't that. You know, this is. You know.
Well, you guys are simply just missing the point, because these gimmicks would go over if you just believe.
Oh my God.
Believe.
Bo Dallas, the first Bo Dallas, because you just got to believe.
But I do believe.
He's Mr. Positivity, and if you just think positively, and if you believe, your dreams will come true. Meanwhile, your brother is the eater of worlds, and you're stuck with you got to believe. Stop it.
Wasn't he decent in NXT?
Oh yeah, he was good.
His skills as a wrestler. There's a lot of guys that are really good as wrestlers, but they have horrible gimmicks or can't talk or whatever, you know.
All right, Ego, which we're like all over the board here, folks. So
This is gonna be a mess.
All
Well,
right.
I'm pretty sure the number one's going to be solid, though.
Ego, you're
All
number 2.
Imagine being 3.5 years behind one of the greatest fighting video games on the planet, and you decide you want to get in on the game, wrestling
God.
style.
I
So
know
you
this
try out a guy that looks like fake ass dollar store knockoff bootleg on Canal Street Sub-Zero. I would call him the Puddle, but he went by Glacier. Okay,
Wow.
He wore these white ass contacts. They had simulated snow come down. They were blue lasers and shit. And he would do all his like 9 karate moves, and then get in the ring. And I shit you not, proceed to take off $35,000 in equipment. That shoulder strap shit, all that buckles and looking like Captain Crunch, all that stuff cost $35,000. And production cost for this man was $500,000.
Shut
And
the
it
front
only
door.
went, swear to God, and this shit went less than 6 months. They were trying to pair this as like, hey,
Sub-Zero.
This was in the 90s. $500,000?
yes.
Well, all the funny enough,
Holy shit.
Between the lasers and the simulated snow and like the packaging, because they're trying to be cool with Mortal Kombat with the show. So they try to be like,
there was
hey,
a corporate tie-in.
oh yeah, that. So it's like, hey, after Nitro, it's Mortal Kombat, the series. And it's like no guy that's actually on the show. It's a wrestler who does karate moves but can't really wrestle, but he has a karate finisher. It was terrible. So it's number
was.
2. I remember this vividly. I was in it for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, get him out of here, all right?
He is a legit martial artist, by the way, in real life.
I know, and that's what makes it worse.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
Funny enough, though, the other people who came out of that gimmick had long careers.
Goldberg.
Go on.
Goldberg, Mortis,
Yeah.
Chris Kanyon, and Ernest the Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right,
I give it
Brad.
to them, just not Glacier. Jesus.
Brad, you're number 2.
You know, some of the greatest stories we've ever heard go back to ancient Greece.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
I think, was it Theseus who was stuck in the maze? And what was he facing in the maze?
The Minotaur.
The
Minotaur.
Minotaur.
Yeah.
Advanced 2,000-3,000 years. The most fearsome beast walks out. It's Mantar. Even though the ring announcer said Minotaur. And literally the gimmick is he's wearing like a giant cow head, Minotaur head. And he gets out there, and he like looks like he's gonna charge. That was the gimmick. The guy apparently is a legit decent wrestler. And like we're saying, he's like he wants that WWF money back at the time. So his name was Mike Halleck. He passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Mantar Hall of Fame. Justice for Mantar.
Justice for Mantar.
Agreed.
I watched the when he premiered. I went back. He had Vince, and I think it was maybe Bobby Heenan, and they're just like, "Oh my God, what is this? What is this fearsome?" I'm like, no, this. I'm so glad the Attitude Era happened just for the fact that it got rid of this crap. I know Joker hates the nostalgia of it, but it got rid of this and focused it back on like a little more realistic crap because we
Even
don't
worse
need
with-
Minotaurs wrestling.
Even worse.
Unless you're actually no, you spear a guy with your horns. That's an entirely different beast.
And when after he got left WWE, he went to ECW, and this is how unforgiving ECW crowd is, right? If you like, they always call Just Incredible Albert Montoya, W days. He went in as an Italian guy, like a mafia gimmick in ECW, and they kept calling him the fucking Mantar for the entire run.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying was ECW fans, no, this is this person, and ECW fans were
Seriously, no one cares.
Incredible got over and worked the crowd with it. They would call him Aldo, and he go, no, fuck you, Mamado. Like, he would just work the crowd.
Gotcha.
No.
Okay, my number 2. Hi guys.
You skipped me.
You skip that.
I'm sorry, Matt. You're number
Yes.
2.
So
Sorry.
my number 2, it's kind of a compound gimmick. Okay. So in 1990, we were let on with a giant egg sitting around for months and months and months. And at Survivor Series, this egg hatched, and out hopped a giant turkey, the gobbledygooker, played at the time by Hector Guerrero, the brother of Eddie and Chavo Guerrero. Okay? Because Vince wanted not only to see Vince, the person who wrote the gobbledygooker just wanted to have a mascot, the gobbledygooker. But Vince said, no, we got to make him wrestle too, So they stuck Hector Guerrero in there. Not anyone could actually play a giant chicken mascot or whatever the hell it was.
Turkey.
So this gimmick went on and came back many times. Maurice, the Miz's wife, played it at one point. Lame Event Jey Uso has played the gobbledygooker. Xavier Woods has played the gobbledygooker. And I know 2 or 3 more I don't remember offhand. Okay? And then supposedly the gobbledygooker inspired another Vince McMahon genius move. When legend Terry Taylor came to the WWE,
Oh no,
he made him the Red Rooster.
Rooster.
All right. My number 2, as I said. Hi guys. It's the learning tree. It's the learning tree, Chris Jericho. It's just wall to wall cringe. Now, we've given Chris Jericho credit as being able to reinvent himself. This is something that has not worked. It's actually caused even AEW fans, the sickos, during the matches to chant, please retire.
Yeah.
Please retire. It's every time, and as I've been watching ECW or AEW as it's now on Max, again, it's the moment that I go to the bathroom, go make a sandwich or something, because it is just wall to wall cringe. Now for our number 1s, I'm gonna go first because I think I might change a few minds here if you haven't done this one already.
Well, before you go, Joker, I got a rumor for you based on the Chris Jericho thing. I saw about 2 weeks ago that Eric Arndt, who is Enzo Amore, that they're going to break up the Learn to gimmick by giving Enzo a run with Big Cass, so to speak, in AEW. Whether they do it or not, I don't know, but just, it was nice to see them together again for a few months.
That was on they were on the Jericho cruise, right?
Yeah.
That's what I
saw.
started.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 1 comes with a question. What if this gimmick never existed? And this gimmick is the Blue Blazer.
Ooh, that's kind of
Blues Blazer.
Blue Blazer. Bret Hart had left WWF. Had left WWF.
Now Ego gets it.
Owen was still there.
Dark.
I think it still would have happened.
If the Blue Blazer gimmick had never happened, would Owen Hart still be alive?
Because everything I have read about that says Owen saw Sting doing the rope drops and wanted to do them.
Well, this was way before the rope drop.
Well, no, he died from attempted rope drop. He fell from the roof.
It was because Sting was doing that around the time. It's like 97, 98, I think.
Owen
So,
Hart died
yeah.
May 23rd, 1999.
Okay.
Sting was definitely doing it then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as I said, if this gimmick didn't happen, so for me, the Blue Blazers number one.
Ooh, that's dark.
We'll go in reverse. We'll go in reverse order. Matt, you're number one.
Well, number one had a mention before. I suspect that another that's going to get mentioned again since we had the rumor. So way back at the Clash of Champions, on Ric Flair's little like his version of Piper's Pit, as Legal put out, he was interviewing the British Bulldog and Sting for the same a big 4-man tag match with Sid and Stevie Ray were on the team. I don't remember the other guys. I don't know all 4 of them. And so they come out, they're doing the promo, and like, we want to. Ric Flair's like, who's going to be your partner? Who's going to be your partner? And all of a sudden, Sid comes out and Stevie Ray comes out, and they're like, yeah, we're here to see who this partner do. The lead into this was a tremendously great build-up. You got to understand that, okay? Second thing you got to understand before I say it is, if you go watch this now, the clip that's on there is the WWE clip that's been sanitized.
Gotcha.
You might be able to do some deep digging and find the original older clip. So it all sets up. Sting goes, our Ted going to be the Shockmaster. And the dude bursts through the door. What was I? This was 1992 or something like that. I was
93, I think.
I was 21 years old. I don't know if I was sober at the time when I was watching it. But I remember I think wrestling was a fraternity event for us. And we're watching. Why the fuck is he wearing a Stormtrooper helmet? That was the first thing any of us thought. It wasn't that he fell. It wasn't that stupid cloak. It wasn't like why. And someone said, "Why is Tugboat wearing a Stormtrooper?" Who, by the way, was also Typhoon, who came up before.
Natural disasters,
which is another horrible move by Vince to give guy a new name when he heel turned. But anyway. And this is the only one on my list, not a Vinceism. So he comes out, and we have obviously the bar, whatever. I'm not going to blame him for the trip per se because of the later. And he stands up, tries to recover. But here's what they don't show in the modern clip. Stevie Ray was like, "What the fuck?" Ric Flair started laughing. Sting had to turn his face away from the camera, but you could catch Sting like laughing. Then someone else said something else like did they send the wrong guy out? The only guy who tried to save the clip was Sid, who stayed in character and started railing at the Shockmaster like, "I rule the world," blah blah, his whole routine. And then all of a sudden the Shockmaster talks, and it's not even Tugboat's voice, and Tugboat was a demon. It was one of the Andersons doing a Darth Vader voice for him.
Oh my god!
Sid Vicious, you do not rule the world. I rule the world. And Tugboat wasn't even moving his way properly to speak. Like it was such a horrible gimmick. But it gets worse and better and worse because they salvaged the gimmick by making it a comedy act, and the fans started cheering for the guy about 3 months later. Well, he didn't have the Stormtrooper helmet. He looked totally different. Same dude. But how, you okay, you're gonna make the Shockmaster, right? You're Eric Bischoff, or did they force Bischoff out by then in 1990? I know the merger had happened already, so it might have been the 10-man committee from Time Warner running it by then. So you have this new gimmick. We're going to introduce a new guy. We got Tugboat is real popular. We're gonna want to be a heel. We're gonna heal him up. And what do? We'll give him some face paint. No. Let's just rent a Stormtrooper helmet. Well, we got a Stormtrooper helmet in storage because we're Warner. We have a Stormtrooper helmet in storage. Let's spray it with what's that stuff called? Glitter, and then put it on his head and give him a cloak from one of our fruit, and it'll all work. It'll all work.
Okay.
Surprise is one more thing. They wanted all the wrestlers to be surprised.
Gotcha.
So none of them knew what was coming through that door. None of them knew.
All right. Brad, you're number one.
My number one is Shockmaster.
Okay.
And just so you know, I've just found the original clip.
Ooh.
See if I can actually watch it offline. But yeah, I just found it with Flair talking it all up. Everything that Matt said is totally correct. But I will add this. You can't say Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers did not own Star Wars. Warner Brothers was separate. 20th Century Fox put out Lucasfilm Star Wars. So I honestly wonder, did they not think about the legal repercussions of having a very serious, obvious Stormtrooper helmet bedazzled to hell and back? Would that appear every week? Because you're putting off as your own character and you're legitimately stealing Lucasfilm
Intellectual property
trademark.
Right.
What were you thinking? But just the comedic aspect of it. It goes down in the annals of what the F. Come on.
Gotcha.
Guys.
All right. Ego, let's wrap this up. You're number one.
Sure. Honestly, it's only good because of you guys that I understood this, because I had been out of wrestling fandom for several years. And I know that you guys should talk to Wrestlemania, and I was like, I like wrestling. And you guys went through the entire Cody Rhodes story for me. So I was all caught the fuck up.
Oh,
And then several weeks before WrestleMania, I'm like, oh, The Rock is here. What's he gonna? The fuck is it? I was like, what? Did I miss something? I was like, you guys had told me that they were finishing a story, and then this guy is here. Why is he here? He's supposed to be on the board of directors, and y'all were confused. And I was like, you know what? For someone to be out for so long, to finally be caught up, to know and anticipate the match that's going to happen and have this wrench thrown in it, The Rock of all people, who, again, y'all put me down the rabbit hole, but before I knew, I have to say that's the worst thing I've ever seen someone do. It's the pettiest and most selfish thing. Yes, Final Boss. I'm sorry. It's the most selfish and petty thing I've ever seen done, so it had to be number one.
Ego, this may be your best top 5 ever.
I'm honestly surprised Joker didn't pick Final Boss.
That's fair. You changed it. What was number one before Blue Blazer, though? If you didn't change it.
Oh, it would have been the Blue Blazer was the first one that came.
Sheesh. Okay. All right. You took it there. Okay. All right.
All right. So
This is going to be difficult.
we have a clear number one.
Well, yeah.
We have a tie for 2 and a boatload of 3. So we will just not even talk about the 3. Tied for number 2 is the Final Boss, the Pebble, and the Blue Blazer. And number 1, with 13 points, it's the Shockmaster. Well deserved. Well deserved. Cringe as fuck. And we'll go in the annals as just a whole lot of awful. All right, but we are running short on time here, so we're going to wrap this up here. Mr. Ego, tell us what you have coming up, sir.
We'll be with John Kreese MMA and the Homies podcast tomorrow at 8 p.m. 7 Central. I've got my latest video out with Cobra Kai, and my wife and I will be going live Sunday at 6 p.m.
Gotcha. Mr. has the secret Tar Heel Michael Jordan shrine in his house. Duke Devil 95, what do you have coming up, sir?
Tomorrow night, I will be on Static 2020's weekend pregame, where we discuss all sorts of weird stuff that makes us cringe and hate Static. Otherwise, go check out my channel. Every week, I put up our Deep Space Nine Wormhole Watch. This week's episode is Q-less, where Q comes on to the Deep Space Nine station to cause some problems.
I watched that. That was fun. And Hexagon 4, Seto. Mierda. What do you got coming up, sir?
Tomorrow on Roman's show, we're going over Minority Report. I know I'm there. You're there, Joker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you there, Ego?
Not this week. He's not.
I got to make myself watch Minority Report again. I didn't like it the first time I saw it. Next week, this show, obviously, Wednesday is overbooked. And Joker is still at 700 subs. So
yes, I did. Yes.
I keep saying I'm going to do something on my channel and then not wind up not doing it. But I think this is the weekend I'll get a little video out. So
Right Right on, right on. And as Matt said, you can catch me on with Roman of the Empire tomorrow night. And again, we're going to be coming back here for the go-home shows leading up into the Elimination Chamber, talking about all the news and stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for another week of Double Digit Elect. You guys have been awesome. And for all of us here at Wednesday Night is Overbooked, I want to say have a great rest of your week. Keep talking. Keep smiling. And until next time, folks, toodles.
And here we go.
Is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
Ah!